Mr. Tim here from PMA Martial Arts in Aurora, ready to go over our next piece of curriculum. Before we get started today, make sure you take a second to review the student creed, just as a reminder for ourselves, you know, why it is that we're training and what it is we're aiming at as martial artists. Anyway, let's get started. Feet together, set, bow. Let's start with some boxing combinations today. What I want us to do first, we'll get in a guard stance, and the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bob and weave towards the side of my front leg. So I'm going to start bob and weave, and I move that way. Now, when I turn my head this way, or rather when I rotate my body this way, I should take a little bit more of my weight and put it over this front foot. Now that I'm here, after that weave, I'm going to take that hand, I'm going to fire my first uppercut. After my uppercut with my lead hand, then I'll fire a cross with my rear hand. Right away after my cross, I'll retract that, I'll throw a hook with my front hand. Now, as I retract this hand back, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it back as I make that bob and weave over to that side again, right? Right away, once my weight is there, I'm going to repeat that combination over and over and over in a flow. It's going to go uppercut, cross, hook, weave. Uppercut, cross, hook, weave. Uppercut, cross, hook, weave. If you remember our bob and weave practice from earlier in the month, one of the concepts that we practiced with our bob and weave was turning a little bit at an angle, right? So if you do your very best, say you perform this sequence maybe 15, 20 times in a row, you should start to move around into kind of a little circle. So take your time, work on that combination. Again, it's a bob and weave to start, and I get my weight here, lead uppercut, cross, lead hook, bob and weave back towards that front side. Take some time, work on this before moving on. All right, students, let's work on the next combination. Now, that first combination, I did a bob and weave to my lead side, and that's the side that I kept taking that angle to. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on taking my angle to my rear side. So I'm going to start with a bob and weave. Instead of going towards my lead foot, I'm going to bob and weave my head towards my rear foot. In the same way that when I bob and weave towards my front foot, I should have more weight here. When I bob and weave towards my rear foot, the goal is to get a little bit more weight here, right? I never like to break more than, say, 70% on one foot and 30% on the other foot. So if you feel like you got more than, in your own estimation, more than 70% on your back foot, then we're leaning just a little bit too far. But anyway, bob and weave, I'll put my weight on my back foot. Now with my rear hand, I'm going to fire up my uppercut. I'm going to bring that back, fire my lead hook, and then I'm going to finish with a cross. Just like how we finished that last combination, as I retract my cross back to my guard, I'm going to start my bob and weave again towards my rear side. Right away, I have my feet loaded, and I can start that combination again. It's rear uppercut, lead hook, cross. And then when I bob and weave towards my rear side. Uppercut, hook, cross. Bob and weave, uppercut, hook, cross. Bob and weave. Again, take your time. Think about taking that angle as you hit your bob and weave towards that side. And if you perform this, 15, 20 or more times in sequence, you should start to notice yourself rotating like you're spinning in a circle almost. Anyway, take your time, be smart on those feet, balance in those legs, sharp with your techniques. All right, students, now let's make one more combination today, kind of putting some of these things together. I'm going to start with a bob and weave towards my front side, and I'm going to fire that first combination where I go lead uppercut, cross, hook. Now, after I hit my lead hook, I'm going to retract and then bob and weave to my rear side. Right away, once I bob and weave to my rear side, I'm going to fire rear uppercut, lead hook, cross. I'm going to retract my cross and then bob and weave towards my lead side. So now I'm playing the combinations back and forth. Starting again, I bob and weave to my lead side, lead uppercut, cross, hook. Retract that hook all the way, then bob and weave to the rear side this time. Now with my weight on that rear side, I'm going to go rear uppercut, lead hook, cross. Retract the cross, bob and weave to that lead side. Lead uppercut, cross, hook, retract. Bob and weave to the rear side, rear uppercut, lead hook, cross, retract. Bob and weave towards that front side. Get comfortable, make it a little game, and and really flow through the combination over and over and over. Really lock it in to your muscle memory so that when you need to be fast putting your footwork and your combinations together, you'll be ready for it. All right, students, we've been working on a series of going for multiple kicks. Kind of taking different angles off of one chamber, right? Let's take a second, let's use the wall and a wall or a chair or anything that you can lean on. I'm going to put my hand on one of these Wave Masters right here, just to support me as I get my hips moving and really start aiming my knee around before I start throwing some kicks today. So what I'm going to do, put one hand, I'm going to take one knee and I'm going to chamber it up straight like a front kick. Once I chamber it up straight like a front kick, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to push that knee forward and I'm going to turn it over like a round kick. Once I get it over like a round kick, then I'm going to take my knee and I'm going to pull it all the way in front of me like a side kick, and then I'm going to pull it all the way back behind me like I just finished a hook kick, maybe we'll say. I'll go ahead and I'll set that down. Again, the kind of order I'm trying to go for is front kick, round kick, side kick, hook kick. Just putting my knee into each position, making sure that my hip is alive, ready to go. Just using the wall to support me, I want to make sure that my chest is up and I'm looking where I'm kicking, right, as I start with that chamber. Now, especially when I start with that front kick chamber, right, I shouldn't need to lead into the wall at all. Hopefully I do my best, I can push and get there without having to lean into the wall. But of course, if I feel myself tilting, then I want to make sure I have that little bit of support so that I can really focus on this area most. Once I turn to that round kick, I pull my knee all the way in like a side kick, and then I retract it all the way back like I just finished a hook kick, right? Then I'll let it relax and perform it again. Perform this 10 times on each side before moving on and practicing this combination today. All right, students, let's start like this today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my hips turned over. I'm going to hit a combination of 2 kicks from this kind of side-on hip position. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go side kick first, round kick second, right? So I start chambering my knee all the way in. When I reach out my side kick, I'm aiming my heel out in a straight line. Now, from here, I want to chamber for the round kick right away. So I pull my heel back behind me, and I point that knee straight, and then I'll shoot into the round kick second. What I don't want to do is after I side kick, leave my knee over here as I try to reach up that round kick. The angle, it's just not going to work out the way that we want our round kicks to work out. So what we're practicing is putting our knee into position to be able to either throw multiple kicks or to use the threat of the feints to get you the kick that you want. So I'm practicing first side kick, rechamber it back for the round kick, firing out that round kick before setting it down. Take your time, side kick, round kick, 10 times each leg before moving on. All right, students, now the combination of 2 kicks that we've been working on most over the last couple weeks has been our front kick to round kick, right? It is a very high percentage combination threat of kicks in really in all kicking combat sports. So this is something we really want to work on. Now, with speed, I'm going to quickly go from my front kick chamber to a round kick chamber. I'm going to start just with the chamber to, just to practice quickly making this rotation with my knee already up in the air, right? So, sometimes setting up for our round kicks, it's a lot easier for us to put our hips in a position and push off both legs to put us into that round kick position, and that's important, right? We do need to work on that skill, jumping, exploding off of 2 feet, right? That's only the best. But at the same time, I want to be able to have that option of switching the angle on one foot. So I want to go quickly now. Front kick, round kick. Front kick, round kick, right? Once you're comfortable with your balance in those chambers, then let's start firing off the kicks quickly. Now, when I shoot out my front kick, I'm not going to stomp it out too hard. I don't want to overcommit to the front kick and lose my balance for the round kick. So I lift my knee and I just kind of flick my foot out at first. As I'm retracting my front kick, that's when I want to start really pushing off of that bottom foot and pushing my top hip forward so that I get to that round kick chamber. So I flick the front kick and I turn, reaching my round kick committed, right? I'm reaching my round kick with power. So I flick the front kick, power into that round kick. Front kick, round kick. Front kick, round kick. To create those angles. Take your time, do your best. right, students, let's move on and let's work on some elbow strikes again today. Last time we really talked about, our technique and being quick to explode into our front elbow and our side elbow. Now, let's make some combinations of elbow strikes here. What we're going to do today, we're going to go front, side, and back. I'm going to do all of this today, or at least this next piece of the drill, staying in my neutral stance without taking any steps to get anywhere. So from my neutral position, I'm going to throw my forward elbow. With the same hand, side elbow, with the same hand, I look over my shoulder, right? I start to twist my shoulders, throwing that elbow all the way behind me from that position, from that angle. Then I'll repeat the same sequence on the other side. From here, I quickly, forward elbow, same hand, side elbow, looking over my shoulder, letting my chest turn, elbow behind me, right? Gradually, as you continue to perform and alternating back and forth, then start to speed it up. From your neutral position starting, going forward, side, back. Take a breath. Forward, side, back. Take a breath. All right, students, thank you for following along with me today. I hope you guys are all doing well, staying healthy, staying fit and active, keeping up with our schoolwork and whatever else that we need to be doing. But anyway, if you guys are enjoying the videos, please like and subscribe. Check us out on our social media pages, and we will see you next time.